For pretty much all of history, we've been on this epic quest for something called objective truth. But what if that whole quest is based on a huge misunderstanding? Today, we're going to challenge that idea, and we're going to do it using the razor-sharp lens of the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. So let me just start with the big one. What if that solid ground of facts you think you're standing on is really just one perspective out of countless others? Now, this isn't just some abstract thought experiment. This is the key that unlocks a completely different way of seeing knowledge, morality, and yeah, even ourselves. All right, so the big ideal has always been the search for absolute universal truth. But what if there's a massive obstacle in our way? A set of hidden walls we build around ourselves without even realizing it. And that obstacle has a name: dogma. You can think of it as the main villain of our story today. And it's not just a strong opinion. Oh no, it's a belief system that's so rigid it becomes a fortress. It pretends to be pure reason, but what it's really doing is shutting down any real, honest questioning.
So where does this stuff even come from? Well, you can bet it's rarely from a place of open, critical thinking. It usually comes from old superstitions we've just inherited, or our own personal biases that, let's be honest, we want to protect. Or it's just societal traditions we accept without a second thought. It is, quite literally, closed-minded thinking.
Now, you'd think the one group of people safe from this would be philosophers, right? I mean, they're the high priests of objectivity, the masters of pure reason. Well, Nietzsche yanks back the curtain and shows us that their work is way more personal than they would ever want us to believe. And this slide just nails the difference. On one side, you've got the ideal we're all sold, the philosopher as this detached, logical brain searching for truth. But on the other side, you have Nietzsche's reality, a biased creator who actually starts with their own gut instincts and then builds this whole elaborate logical system just to justify them. That powerful instinct, that's what Nietzsche famously called the will to power, that deep human drive to stamp our own interpretation onto the world. So here it is, the big reveal. Every grand, complex philosophical system is, in the end, a confession of who they are. It's basically an unconscious autobiography. It reflects their personal life, their emotions, their needs, all just dressed up to sound super intellectual. I love this analogy. Think of it like this. Every philosophy is like a personalized lens. The philosopher hands you a pair of glasses and says, "Here, see the world as it really is." But what they're not telling you is that the lens is ground to their own unique prescription, coloring, and bending everything you see. Okay, so let's take this same critical thinking and apply it to one of the biggest dogmas of all, morality. We love to think of moral laws as being fixed, eternal things. But if you look closer, you'll see they're probably the best example of a subjective system that we've mistaken for objective fact. I mean, we're taught this from day one, right? Morality is universal. It's imposed from above or written in stone. This idea that right and wrong are these timeless, absolute concepts is just baked into our culture. But is it actually true? Well, the evidence says probably not. The whole idea of a single universal morality just crumbles when you realize how wildly it changes from culture to culture. What's seen as a virtue in one society is a total vice in another. It also changes over time, and it's often shaped by whatever power structure is in charge. They get to define what's good in a way that serves their own interests. So morality isn't some divine law. It's a technology of power. It's a human, all too human invention. Okay, so if we've just torn down objective truth and universal morality, what in the world are we left with? It might feel a little scary, but this is where the whole argument shifts from tearing things down to building something incredibly empowering. Perspective isn't a flaw in our thinking. It is the essential condition for any knowledge at all. This quote right here is the absolute heart of it. There is no view from nowhere. You can't see the world without seeing it from somewhere. To be alive is to have a perspective. To see, to know, to understand, it all has to happen from a particular point of view. Trying to escape that isn't just impossible, it's like trying to escape being alive. To make this idea totally crystal clear, let's use a simple analogy. Just picture a sculptor standing in front of a giant raw block of marble. So first we have the traditional view. In this way of thinking, truth is about discovery. The sculptor's job is to just chip away all the extra rock to reveal the perfect statue that was already hiding inside. The truth was there the whole time, just waiting to be found. Now, let's flip that completely on its head. This is the Nietzschean view. Here, the sculptor is not a discoverer at all. They're a creator. They impose their vision, their will, their interpretation onto that shapeless block of marble. The statue isn't found, it is made. This is that will to power in its purest form, shaping reality to match your own values. So what's the conclusion? The final statue isn't some universal truth that was dug out of a rock. Not at all. It's a confession of who the sculptor is. It reflects their biases, their desires, their power. In the end, truth, just like art, is an act of creation. It's born from a perspective.
So why does any of this matter outside of some dusty philosophy classroom? Because this isn't just an idea. Embracing perspective over objectivity fundamentally changes your relationship with the world. It moves you from being just a passive observer to being an active creator. And this, right here, is the ultimate takeaway. This idea reframes what knowledge even is. It's no longer just about passively understanding the world as it is. It becomes about actively getting your hands dirty, shaping that reality, imposing your own values, and creating your own meaning. It is an unbelievably empowering way to think.
So I'll leave you with a challenge. If truth is an act of creation and our beliefs are really just confessions of who we are, then what's one universal truth in your own life, a belief you've always held as absolute, as unquestionable, that you're going to choose to re-examine first?